Yeah, well, I saw your garbage sneaking in your bedroom window last night. Oh, this is fabulous.
What did you do? Rob a bank? I know the police after you.
Now, I've been making a killing in the stock market. My latest boyfriend, Phil, he's a stockbroker, and he's taking care of my assets. Something wrong? You obviously made a mistake in judgment. Nobody messes with Sandra Clark. What are you...
Before the sequins, before the Emmy, before Sandra Clark ever purred Lord Have Mercy across primetime television, there was Jackée Harry, a brilliant, sharp-minded girl from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, born August 14th, 1956. Long before Hollywood would try to define her, she was defining herself. Jackie didn't dream of sitcom fame or comedic catchphrases. She dreamed of respect, of gravitas, of becoming the next Diane Carroll, the kind of actress whose very presence could hush a room. After earning a degree in education and teaching American history at Brooklyn Technical High School, she was the kind of woman who believed discipline would save you, books would guide you, and effort would write your name into the future. But teaching other people's history wasn't enough. She wanted to make her own. So she walked out of the classroom and toward the stage lights, chasing Broadway ambition with the hunger of someone trying to outrun a life that felt too small. Jackie imagined herself draped in drama, collecting Tony nominations, playing roles that required emotional excavation, not punchlines, but Hollywood had other plans. In 1983, she booked her first TV role, Lily Mason on NBC's Another World. It wasn't Shakespeare, it wasn't even primetime, but it was steady work. 3 years of close-ups, long hours, and the unglamorous grind that teaches you how to hit a mark even when you're exhausted. Jackie was learning the business from the inside out, waiting for the break that would prove she was more than just another face in daytime television. That break came in 1985, disguised as the last thing she ever wanted, a sitcom neighbor named Sandra Clark. NBC's 227 was casting a flashy, flirtatious, man-chasing character meant for just 7 episodes, a loud, sequined, comedic bombshell whose priorities were men, glamour, and mischief. Jackie hated it. She wanted drama, they offered her sass, but the rent was due and opportunity rarely knocks politely, so she auditioned. And the instant she stepped into Sandra Clark's stilettos, something electric happened. Jackie didn't play Sandra like a caricature. She played her like a woman who knew her worth, who weaponized confidence, who refused to shrink for anyone, not even primetime television. During the pilot taping, NBC president Brandon Tartikoff watched from the control room and saw lightning in human form. Before the episode even finished filming, he extended Jackie's contract from 7 episodes to a full series regular. Just like that, Sandra Clark, originally written as a side dish, became the whole meal. When 227 premiered in September 1985, Sandra exploded onto screens like nothing primetime had seen, glamorous, bold, unapologetically sensual, unashamed of her desires, and armed with comedic timing so precise it felt supernatural. While other sitcoms hid black sexuality behind caution and stereotypes, Jackie kicked the door in wearing sequins and a smirk. America was hooked. What Jackie didn't know was that this role, the one she didn't want, would make her a star, would make her history, would make her unforgettable. And in just 2 years, it would place her on the Emmy stage holding a golden statue no black woman before her had ever touched. But fame isn't free, and every spotlight casts a shadow. Jackie was about to learn that when you rise too quickly, Hollywood doesn't always clap. Sometimes it waits, watching, planning its rewrite. By the late 1980s, Jackée Harry wasn't just a breakout star, she was the gravitational pull of 227, the reason audiences tuned in, the spark that lit up every scene. But success in Hollywood is two-faced. The brighter one woman shines, the more shadows it casts on everyone around her, and those shadows were growing long behind the scenes. Marla Gibbs, the show's lead, its anchor, its original selling point, had spent years building a reputation as the steady comedic presence America trusted. 227 was supposed to be her victory lap, her moment to finally lead a show after stealing scenes on the Jeffersons. But by season 3, viewers weren't talking about Mary Jenkins anymore. They were talking about Sandra Clark and the woman playing her. And Hollywood, being Hollywood, didn't know what to do with 2 powerful black women sharing the same space. Whispers started slipping through the walls, crew members avoiding eye contact, writers reworking scenes to shift the balance, guest actors quietly choosing sides. The tension wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It was steady, icy, unmistakable. Everyone felt it. Jackie felt it too. She wasn't naive. She saw the way jokes landed one way at the table read and another way on set. She saw the guarded looks, the clipped conversations, the rehearsals laced with a kind of politeness sharp enough to cut glass. Years later, she would laugh it off. They didn't go home with me. But at the time, the atmosphere was suffocating. She was making history on screen while surviving a Cold War backstage. And then came the night that made everything more complicated. September 20th, 1987, the Emmy Awards. Jackie sat in a ballroom filled with people who never expected to hear her name. Black actresses weren't supposed to win in her category, period. When they read it aloud, the whole room shifted. She rose, stunned but graceful, sequins flashing like armor. On stage, she thanked God, her mother, and the cast, including Marla Gibbs. But underneath the glitter, the smile, the moment of glory, was a tiny spark of real, honest hope. Would this finally give her power, protection, leverage? So she joked, half joking, half pleading with the universe. I wonder if I get paid more money for this. The audience laughed. Hollywood didn't. The award didn't grant her freedom. It magnified the target. Sandra's popularity surged even more. Jackie's screen time increased. Her fan mail doubled. NBC executives began to toy with the idea of spinning her off into a show of her own. And for Marla, who carried the weight of being the show's star and its representative in boardrooms and network meetings, this shift felt like a quiet earthquake. The tension grew so unmistakable that show insiders began referring to Jackie's dressing room letters, the notes Marla allegedly sent, expressing frustration, boundaries, warnings. Whether they were stern or simply misunderstood, they widened the divide. Jackie kept showing up, hitting her marks, electrifying audiences. But the ground beneath 227 was cracking. By season 4, NBC had made a decision. If Jackie's character was too big for 227, maybe she needed a world of her own. And so, the network extended a hand with glittering promise. Sandra Clark would get her own spinoff, her own show, her own spotlight, her own empire. On paper, it looked like a triumph, a rising star leveling up. Behind the scenes, it was a gamble with stakes no one prepared her for. The pilot was rushed. Jackie was filming 227 all day, then racing to work on the new show at night. Michael Moy, the writer who crafted Sandra's voice, had already left to develop Married with Children, meaning the one person who truly understood the role wasn't there. Scripts were thin, production frantic. Even Jackie admitted later, "We were doing 227 and a movie at the same time. It was too much." But none of that mattered when NBC handed her the most coveted slot in American television, right after The Cosby Show, The Golden Hour, the launch pad that made careers and broke records. When Jackie premiered, she sparkled like always. Sequins, charm, a jazz sax theme opening that promised glamour and possibility. But behind those glossy credits was exhaustion, stress, a fractured creative process, a show that had charisma but no backbone. The ratings came in at a modest 5th place. Not a disaster, but not a hit. NBC passed, no series, no second episode, no Sandra Clark empire. And suddenly, Jackée Harry, the Emmy-winning first, the scene-stealing breakout, the woman who had carried an entire sitcom on her shoulders, found herself split from 227 without a spin-off, without a next chapter. It wasn't a scandal, it wasn't a firing, it was worse, it was silence. Hollywood didn't know what to do with her. And so, slowly, quietly, she began to fade. Not because she wasn't talented enough, or beautiful enough, or deserving enough, but because her success came too fast, too big, too bright, and the industry did what it always does to black women who rise higher than they were expected to. It stepped back and let gravity do the rest. Sister wrapped in 1999, and just like that, Jackée Harry found herself at another crossroads. 43 years old, Emmy winner, comedy icon, and once again facing a Hollywood that didn't quite know what to do with her. She had spent 5 years as Lisa Landry, the nurturing, chaotic, lovable mom who kept twin girls grounded. The show was a massive hit, even bigger than 227 in some ways. But the industry didn't reward her for that. That's the truth most people don't know. Being beloved doesn't always translate to power. When the cameras stopped rolling, Jackie stepped off that soundstage with no series, no follow-up deal, and no guarantees. For the next decade, she hustled. The kind of hustle only a black actress in Hollywood can truly understand. Guest roles, recurring roles, voiceovers, sitcom appearances, pilots that went nowhere, cameos on shows where she lit up scenes but wasn't the star. She got love from fans, but Hollywood executives too often saw her as the mom, the funny aunt, the former bombshell. Instead of the Emmy-winning actress who once carried network television on her back, she worked everywhere. Everybody Hates Chris, Moshe, The Parkers, The First Family, Beauty Shop, and dozens more. Always good, always memorable, always showing up ready. But in Hollywood, the roles get smaller as women get older, unless your name is Meryl Streep. And Jackie, despite all her talent, wasn't being given the same runway. Her personal life was just as complicated. In 2003, she and Elgin Charles finalized their divorce. bittersweet, emotional, but respectful. They left the courthouse and drove home together because that's who they were. Two adults who loved their son Frank more than they loved being right. They lived together for years after divorcing so Frank would grow up feeling supported, not split in half. Elgin later came out publicly as bisexual, revealing layers of their marriage the world never knew. Jackie never dragged him, never exposed him, never weaponized pain. She took the high road, the way black actresses so often learn to do. She simply kept loving her son, kept working, and kept surviving. Then came the tweet. February 2021, the one that shocked everyone. I've been divorced 3 times. 3. People only knew about 2. The third, she kept private, buried deep where Hollywood couldn't get its hands on it. 3 marriages, 3 endings, 3 fresh starts. Behind the sequins, behind the laughs, Jackie had lived through heartbreak after heartbreak and still always found a way to reintroduce herself to the world. But her resurrection didn't come through marriage, awards, or even sitcom fame. It came through something no one expected: social media. In 2012, Regina King dragged Jackie backstage on Watch What Happens Live and forced her to make a Twitter account. Jackie didn't even know how the app worked at first, but by the time she left the studio, she had 300,000 followers. People weren't just nostalgic. They were hungry for her humor, her sass, her wisdom, her authenticity. Jackie discovered something crucial. Hollywood gatekeepers could ignore her, but the public never would. Her career shifted again in 2020 when she was cast as Paulina Price on Days of Our Lives, a soap opera, full circle from her early Another World days. But this time, she wasn't the new girl learning the ropes. She was the veteran stepping into a role with authority, presence, and legacy. NBC put her under contract. She found stability again at 64. For a black actress in daytime television, that was nothing short of miraculous. Paulina Price became another hit, another Jackie classic. Loud, bold, funny, larger than life. Everything Jackie had always been, now on a platform that gave her daily visibility. She became a staple of daytime soap culture, beloved by longtime fans and brand new audiences discovering her for the first time. She didn't slow down either. She reunited with Tia Mowry on My Next Act, appearing not as the old TV mom, but as a mentor, a friend, a survivor of a business that spits out women long before 40. She filmed voice roles, sitcom appearances, and even joined Netflix's On the Inside in 2025 alongside Ted Danson. At nearly 70, Jackée Harry was working more steadily than women half her age. And then came the moment that summed up everything she had survived. A reporter asked her in 2024 about doing a 227 reboot. Jackie didn't hesitate, didn't smile politely, didn't give the PR safe, "You never know." She leaned into the mic and said with absolute certainty, "I ain't going back that far. That character is done." Not bitter, not nostalgic, just honor, because that's what surviving Hollywood teaches you. You can honor your past without being trapped by it. Jackée Harry didn't fade. She didn't disappear. She didn't get erased like so many black actresses of her generation. She kept showing up. She kept reinventing. She kept teaching, mentoring, mothering, and making people laugh. And today, nearly 40 years after winning that groundbreaking Emmy, she's still the only black woman to ever win in her category. The only one, still, after all this time. Not because others weren't worthy, but because Hollywood is slow to reward black women who steal scenes, shift culture, and refuse to shrink. Jackée Harry kicked the door open in 1987. Then she survived everything that came after, and they still haven't caught up to her. Jackée Harry's journey proves that Hollywood may forget, but legends don't. She broke barriers, survived the politics, rebuilt herself again and again. And she's still showing up with the same fire that made Sandra Clark unforgettable. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more untold stories like this, make sure you hit like, subscribe, share this video, and drop a comment below. Tell us what surprised you the most about Jackée Harry's story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.